Hello there everyone, it's me, Scout Trooper 345. I'm sorry I haven't posted any real full-on videos in a while. I just wanted to take a little break from doing any YouTube stuff and making content, and I'm not gonna lie, I was about to quit at one point, especially when I heard MatPat was leaving, so I was just a bit of a wreck. But then I decided, one, I don't even think you would give a shit if I did, and two, I don't really want to quit now that I think about it. I do enjoy making content, and I have only 500 subscribers, but 500 people really want to see me make videos. So I figured that I would just make this video kind of just going over something that I'm very passionate about, and mainly just because I couldn't think of anything else to make a video out of it. I thought this was a pretty good way for me to come back after a little bit of a break. But today, in this video, I'm going to be going over the top 5 Clone Trooper sculpts. Now, some of the figures in this video, about 2 or 3 of them are a specific character, but I'm not judging them as the character. I'm judging it as a sculpt for a Clone Trooper. So, basically, just because that character is number 1 doesn't mean that they're the best. I'm just saying that the sculpt of them is one of the best. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get started. Coming in at number 5, we have the Quick Draw Action Clone Trooper sculpt. Now, this is not at all the best, but it's actually really, really good. Mainly because the head sculpt is fantastic. It's one of the best Clone Trooper head sculpts of all time. And just the genericness of this figure is not a bad thing. If anything, it's a plus. Because you don't need your Clone Troopers to have 50 different points of articulation. You can just have this fun one that has a pretty alright gimmick to where he'll just point at you like Spider-Man. But still, it's a very nice figure, and they're also dirt cheap on eBay and stuff, so I totally recommend this if you're trying to build your Clone Trooper army, and that's another reason why it's one of the best. It's a perfect way to build an army. One of my cousins wanted to start his Clone Trooper army, so I recommended he get this as his first one. Now he has one that's almost as big as mine, and it all started with this. So I totally recommend if you're wanting to start a Clone Trooper collection or army, you just get this standard one, and then you can start getting the characters you want. Or you could just ignore what the fuck I'm saying. I honestly don't give a shit, so yeah. Coming in at number 4, it's a bit of a different kind of Clone Trooper, but I still wanted to add it because I do think it's a really good sculpt, is the Vintage Collection Hunter. Now, I'm not judging this, like I said in the beginning, I'm not judging it as the character, I'm judging it as the sculpt. And I'm going to be judging it as a Katarn Armor Clone Trooper, even though the helmet's different. I actually think if the Vintage Collection made all of Delta Squad with this sculpt, just with a new helmet, it would be fantastic. I would love that, because the old 3 3/4 inch Commandos look like this. It's not awful, but at the same time, this is just superior in every way. And I really, really hope that we do get other characters with this sculpt, but knowing Vintage Collection, probably not, because everything you want, they're never gonna make. Coming in at number 3, we have the ARC Trooper Vintage Collection sculpt. Now, this is a very, very good sculpt. I think that the proportions of these guys are amazing. I think that just the overall playability of these guys is great. The articulation's pretty good. The only real complaints I have is that I wish that the pauldrons were actually glued on, because they're not, so they're just resting there. So, especially if you take the helmets off of these guys, the pauldrons are just gonna flop everywhere. But other than that, these are great sculpts, and I was really hoping that the Andor Clone Trooper would be as good as these guys, but it turns out they're a little bit different, and the Andor Clone Trooper is ass. But these guys are not, and yes, I have all of Rancor Battalion except Hammer, but the Lambent Seeker is just standing in. I really want to get Echo. I don't know about fives. I know a few people that just like have Jesse. I don't really know why. One of them, I know he got it because it was the only clone they had, and that's understandable. But the other person I know, it's his favorite. Leave in the comments if either you know someone who's a Jesse fan or you are a Jesse fan. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just it's a little bit different. But if you are a Jesse fan, I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm sorry. It's just I never thought that Jesse would be that kind of character that people would like. For me, Cody is my favorite because he's just the GOAT. Moving on to number 2, Gree. Now, Gree was almost number 1, but the one that was sorry, I stuttered there. The one that was in second place, I don't feel like should be in second place, so I just swapped them. And Gree is a very nice figure. At the time when he came out, he was the most articulated clone trooper of all time. But at the same time, he is the only one like that. Gree is the only one, so I can't give him number 1 because he's the only one of his kind. And also, I mean, it's still a great figure. He's one of the only clone troopers that can freaking do this. I mean, that's just amazing, I guess. And also his Tamora Morrison head sculpt, while not perfect, is still very nice. And also a little inaccurate to how he was in Clone Wars, but this came out during Revenge of the Sith, so how the fuck were they supposed to know what Gree looked like under the helmet? So yeah, it's still a great figure, but number 1 has to go to the 5 POA clone trooper. I'm just kidding, you fucking dumbass. So number 1 goes to the Intanimal clone trooper, one of the best clone troopers. Sorry, not one of. It is the best clone trooper sculpt of all time. No questions. Just, this is the best. I don't have the antenna for it, but if I did, I wouldn't have it on him because he looks so good even without it. And I only have the 212th one, but hey, the 212th is the best, and so is this sculpt, dude. This figure is just perfection. I am so glad they made like 50 variants of this guy. I really wish that Vintage Collection Clone Troopers were still as good as this and not the Andor sculpt. And this figure is just a 10 out of 10. I have no complaints with it. There might be like a little bit of an issue, mainly because he can't sit down, but why would the Clone Troopers have to sit down? They're always fighting. They're in war. There's no time to sit down. That's for droids. That's for clankas. Clones don't do that. They fight. But yeah, this is the best sculpt of all time. No questions. I really want to get more of this. Mainly just the 442nd because it's a green 212. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, this is number 1. And that was the top 5 best top 5 clone troopers of all time. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't, let me know what you didn't like in the comments, or let me know if you're a Jesse fan or not. I don't really care. You could do whatever. Go check out my good friend Purge Trooper 501. He's really cool. He hasn't posted in a while, besides like one edit. Oh well. Thanks for watching. See ya.